welcome back to Japan and to our reaction and review of BABYMETAL featuring on to Bring Me the Horizon song KINGSLAYER. As always, this is the review video. If you want to see the reaction that I just recorded, pause this video, click the link in the description below, which will open up a separate little YouTube player where you can watch the reaction. Just in case you haven't heard the song, I think I just swallowed a fly. I have to slow-mo that back to see. In case you haven't heard the song, if you want to see how I reacted when I first heard it, and, you know, the facial movements and comments that go along with that. So anyway, I'm about to give you a review of KINGSLAYER by Bring Me the Horizon featuring BABYMETAL. So if you want to check out the reaction first, pause this, otherwise here it comes. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, review time. So this song was kind of, in some ways, what I expected, some ways not what I expected. We had recently just checked out a month or two ago Passcode covering Bring Me the Horizon. I remember actually being kind of like okay with that. The song didn't blow me away, but I was like, actually, you know, it kind of works out quite well. Now, before I get into this, I have to be completely honest about how my feelings lie towards the whole idea of this collaboration. Now, if it was just solely on my subjective opinion, I've really enjoyed listening to all the BABYMETAL songs. We've reviewed every single BABYMETAL song on this channel, or on the previous channel mostly, and it's been a real pleasure, and I've heard so much experimentation, so many different things from them. When it comes to Bring Me Horizon, I've got to admit, I don't have anything against them, but I've just never really been a fan of theirs. Nothing they've done has particularly kind of inspired me. From just my opinion, it feels like what they do, they're really good at, but it just feels like it could, I don't feel the identity. It feels like when I hear their songs, it feels like it could kind of just be anyone. So I was, or at least a lot of other bands who it could be. So I was really interested to hear what this was going to be, and the only real indication I had in advance was through our Discord conversations, where some people had basically been a bit like, most people seem to kind of not be so cool with it. Some people actually said they quite liked it and it was really catchy, and, you know, there were some comments about profanity. I'll get around to that in a minute, but anyway. The point is when I listened to this, I must admit, overall, I like this. I thought it was good. I mean, maybe going into something with low expectations helps, but I've liked this to the point where I would be happy to listen to this again. But there were some pointers as to what I liked and disliked, and as always, we're honest in this channel, and we'll break that down for you now. First of all, let's talk a bit about the positives. The positives were the fact that this came in immediately with a very catchy, like I say, rave-like quality, which is not something that I would say is particularly surprising coming from Bring Me the Horizon. It had their sort of key sound in that sense, but it worked. You know, I mean, even if something's your core sound, you can do it right or wrong, and they did it really right here. I thought it was a good sort of catchy intro. It had that Prodigy-like quality of being immediately infectiously headbangy, and it just kind of went in straight from that. The verse really kind of broke things down a little bit, but I was thinking this is so much, you know, it was very compressed, as you'd also expect from this artist and this style of music. I was like, this is so much banged against maximum volume at all times. It's like, I feel like there's no way that the chorus can really sort of impress itself upon you. I was like, you know, it's just going to be, we've already hit maximum volume. How is the chorus going to do anything other than just be a continuation of what we've already got? And quite clever. I like the way that they introduced BABYMETAL in the chorus, therefore meaning that you went from the lower sort of growlier voices of the guys from Bring Me the Horizon suddenly stepping up an octave to BABYMETAL. That's a really simple way of doing it, and it's quite interesting. I've often said this before, that female vocals in rock music and metal music do have a quality that actually sometimes makes them better. And I say this because of the fact that the male vocals, especially growly vocals, are very sort of it's a mid-range sound, which is also where the guitars tend to lie. So you tend to find that the guitars and the vocals in that style of music are competing for the same space. Now, a good engineer knows how to separate that and make them stand out. However, just naturally, they don't naturally separate themselves. However, a female vocal, just being that octave higher the best part of the time, nicely separates itself and rides on top, meaning that you can usually turn up the guitars louder, give them more space in the vocal as well. Everything kind of has more space in the arrangement when you're doing some big, loud, guitar-heavy stuff. So a lot of the time, we think of like the male vocal as being more sort of powerful in that kind of rock way, but I often think that a female vocal actually comes across as more powerful. And this is kind of where this worked, because in the breakdown, like I say, the male vocal was giving that sort of growling intensity to it. But then when it punched in the chorus, you know, the big anthemic chorus, having BABYMETAL doing that meant that the guitars felt louder and fuller because they were free of competing against the vocal in that mid-range, and the vocal itself was now riding on top of everything. It was just a good technique. I think it was well thought out, worked, and obviously the second verse then, you know, you get a mixture of the two vocals, which is fine, because then you know where you're working, you build up the dynamic. Second verse worked nicely because, like I say, it played to that dynamic, and then again, you know, the second chorus, they do it with a breakdown at the beginning, but again, you know, it just felt like it elevated. It felt every time you came around to the chorus, partly aided by the fact it was a nice, simple, catchy chorus. It just felt like a good place to come back to. It felt like a good refrain to come back to, which is why I was almost a little bit sad they didn't put another chorus at the end of the song, but I can let that go. The end of the sort of song was quite interesting, and certainly after the first listen, once you know that that's how it's going to end, you can kind of sort of run out of the second chorus into, okay, this is just where the noise and the impact and just the head-banging crescendo is. It's ending more on a head-banging crescendo than a refrain-type crescendo. So, for me, yeah, a lot about this worked. I was really interested and impressed at how they managed to come in so full of energy and not sound like they shot all of the guns straight from the beginning. I like the way they managed to keep it interesting, how there were little changes in the rhythm. Like I say, the second verse was very dynamic, how they did this to mean that the song maintained a freshness from beginning to end. It never felt like it was getting repetitive, which to me is just brilliant. When you've got something like this, which is, like I say, loud, compressed, full-on head-banging music, to get through a song like that. I didn't actually check how long it is. Let's see if I can just quickly... Have I still got it on screen? Yeah, maybe 4 minutes. I know that's not like an epic length, but still, 4 minutes is long enough for a song to easily outstay its welcome. To me, yeah, they just played that through really nicely. 3 minutes 40 still, you get my point. They played it through really nicely. I thought the arrangement was really well done. Great. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the things that maybe didn't work so well. I'm going to quickly cover, first of all. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say, I totally and utterly respect the fact that this is a Bring Me Horizon song. It's not a BABYMETAL song they're featuring on this, although they've done really good and they've really sort of shown themselves well on this, and they've just fitted in. They're perfect for this. So when we're talking, this is a Japan music related channel, we're talking usually mainly from the BABYMETAL camp. I do understand that, and I feel really bad if there's any Bring Me the Horizon fans who are getting any sort of, because there's some really obsessed fans. I don't know about maybe for Bring Me the Horizon, but certainly for BABYMETAL, they're one of those groups. They've got everything from like casual fans, really like big fans, and then you've always got the super fans who, some of them, it's not like they're bigger fans, they just go a little bit more crazy. There's a word for that, like toxic fans. They have some fans who go a little bit OTT, so I feel bad for anyone from Bringing the Horizon if they're getting any jip about this. But like I say, I'm not, in no way am I talking down to Bring the Horizon, because like I say, I really appreciate that they did this collaboration, and I think that it's worked out. It's really sort of shone a good light on them for me. So some of the comments I might make about their music might sound like something where you could just, as a Bring the Horizon fan, say, well, that just sounds like it's not your kind of thing. But I'll try and contextualize some of it. Now, one of the things I first wanted to get onto is that obviously it had been mentioned to me, one of the comments we had in our Discord was about the fact that some people felt that the profanity, like the swearing in it, was a bit much, didn't really work with it. I personally, this is a very interesting comment for me, because I personally have nothing against profanity. I think profanity is fine, but I do think context is important. In this song, first of all, you're working with a group like BABYMETAL who, they have one of their things, they have a very broad appeal. They appeal to all ages. They can come across just as well to like a hardened heavy metaler as they can to like an innocent like kid. So it's one of those things where, yeah, I kind of prefer when they're not involved with songs that have profanity or things that you don't really want kids repeating, because, so I felt like it didn't really feel like it was needed. And the other reason why I don't think the profanity particularly felt needed in this song, for me, profanity works. Well, the use of profanity is, it's kind of like it's a guttural sound. It's something. It's like, you say this. We can swear on this channel. I don't know why I'm censoring myself, but you usually swear as like when just words are not enough, when you just need to blast out the sound. So a song, to use it in a song, you feel that you need to have like enough of an emotional sense to the song. This song, to me, it had that sort of anger, that growl, but ultimately this sounded more like let's headbang to this. It, like I said, had more a ravey quality. It was like, I just want to headbang to this more than anything. I didn't really feel like there was a genuine sense of anger in this song. I didn't really feel they were angry about anything. The lyrics as a general felt quite ambiguous. So, just the profanity just felt like lazy lyric writing, if I'm honest with you. Not that I got in, like I say, nothing against profanity in songs, but I get why they did it here. It just kind of felt like, I felt like you could have sat down and done something better than that. I don't really feel like, saying the F word actually does make it sound any more intense unless you've got like a message in the song to back it up. So, And again, like I say, to a Bring Me the Horizon fan, they might just be like, well, if you don't like it, don't listen to it. I get that. Just my opinion, I think that they didn't need to do that. So yeah, I kind of agree with the comments about the profanity. But otherwise, like I say, I was just, I was really impressed by this in that it gave me a good light to look at them as a band through as well. Yeah, it's nothing hugely technically detailed going on here. You could argue that this is a sort of song where it doesn't have enough intricacy or detail to maybe make it last forever, but this is certainly a song that I can see myself listening to a good few times more before I put it down. And like I say, it's given me a good lens by which to look through both artists in. I think the BABYMETAL were well used in this. I felt that they were positioned in a way that they didn't, that they sort of represented themselves, gave their own quality, their own sound, a little bit of a element in the song without sounding like they were clashing against what was going on. It did feel both like, Bring Me the Horizon song from what I know and like a BABYMETAL were well used in it. So yeah, I just thought this was great. I enjoyed it a lot. Maybe a lot more than I expected, and maybe my lower initial expectations helped, but there you go, that's my thoughts. So as always, these are just my thoughts as someone who's worked with music my entire adult life, but it's all just opinion, so tell me what you think in the comments, whether you liked it or not. Back it up so we understand, we can have a conversation, explain why you think what you think. Liking and subscribing is greatly appreciated. Of course, if you want to follow any of the social medias where we can talk more about Japanese music, we've got a lot of people on like the Discord, Reddit, all kinds of places. Follow those links in the description below as well. And do remember, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. We're not monetized here, so you guys genuinely keep the channel alive. I mean it. So thank you for making it through to the end of this video, whether you be a Patreon supporter or not. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these, for now, ciao, ciao. I've got to get a fly out of my throat.